Good evening. I'm David Alpern, son of a girl singer of the Great American Songbook on the road and the radio in New York circa 1939. Over 40 years at Newsweek magazine, I was a reporter, writer, and senior editor, also host of the Newsweek On-Air Network radio broadcast, later independent and nonprofit as For Your Ears Only. Among our guests more than once was the man at the keyboard tonight, Steve Ross, who well earned the title Crown Prince of Cabaret over 4 decades at venerable venues throughout Manhattan, across the country, and around the world. I particularly like his Ross Redux from Australia, with Uncle Harry's Not a Missionary Now. He has a dozen more, including musical explorations of Stephen Sondheim, Alan J. Lerner, Cole Porter, and of course Noel Coward, whose green velvet smoking jacket, or at least one tailored for Noel in London, was gifted to Steve by Britain's Noel Coward Society. Singing with Steve at LTV tonight is Karen Murphy, whose Broadway credits include A Little Night Music, 9 to 5, 42nd Street, and Titanic. Off-Broadway, most recently, she was in The Jerusalem Syndrome, and previously My Vaudeville Man, Zombie Prom, and Forbidden Broadway. Her national tours include Finding Neverland, Mary Poppins, White Christmas, Les Mis, and The Wizard of Oz. The CD Torch Goddess captures her popular one-woman show. Together we'll serve up what we consider the best of the versed, not as in Brock-versed, Knock-versed, or Sondheim's Versed Pies in London. Our verses are the opening lyrics you may not know to songs you thought you did. Not so often performed or recorded these fast-paced TikTok days, they're a kind of musical preamble, different from the main tune, more like speaking, poetic, pithy, artfully crafted to tie tunes into so many golden age stage and screen musicals. Even for songs performed on their own, in concert or recordings, the verse provides a bit of poetic, dramatic, or situational context, emotional, comical, always lyrical. Some say it's a musical palate cleanser after the song just ended. As originally written by the likes of Ira Gershwin, Larry Hart, Cole Porter, Dorothy Fields, Johnny Mercer, Sammy Cahn, even Herman Hupfeld.
Herman Hupfeld, a name perhaps not even known to this audience. I look around me and I see a group of people absolutely riddled with sophistication. I can tell this. And so I want to welcome you on behalf of my lovely friend Karen and I. And we hope that you have a pretty good time enjoying the best of the versed.
We know you know the tunes, not the verses, but we may ask you to join some of the choruses.
Yes.
Steve will give you the high sign for your invitation to join us.
The East Hampton Unaccompanied Choir. There you go. It'll be wonderful. This may be your big chance to break into the extremely secure world of cabaret performing. At any rate, we don't have to solve
A perfect example of verse for Broadway comes from Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart's The Boys from Syracuse in 1938. The first Broadway musical based on Shakespeare, specifically A Comedy of Errors, published in 1620. A sad wife in Ephesus is seated by her loom, complaining to her handmaidens that her husband is cheating on her. Seeing this staging for the first time, Hart's biography says he grabbed a sheet of paper, wrote furiously to better stitch into that scene a song already written for it, then disappeared, probably back to the bar.
I weave with brightly colored strings to keep my mind off other things. So ladies, let your fingers dance and keep your hands out of romance. Lovely witches, let the stitches keep your fingers under control. Cut the thread, but leave the whole heart whole. Merry maids can sew and sleep, wives can only sew and weep. Falling in love with love is falling for make-believe. Falling in love with love is playing the fool. Caring too much is such a juvenile fancy. night when the moon was full. I was unwise with eyes unable to see. I fell in love with love, with love everlasting. But love fell out with me.
Also from Boys for Syracuse, in his and her verses, Hart made snarky reference to the author from whom they stole the story. All you need to know is that Dromio is a slave.
In Verona, my late cousin Romeo was three times as stupid as my Dromio.
For he fell in love and then he died of it. Poor half-wit.
This can't be love because I feel so well. No sobs, no sorrows, no sighs.
This can't be love, I get no dizzy spells. My head is not in the skies.
My heart does not stand still, just hear it beat.
This is too sweet to be love. This can't be love because I feel so well, but still I love to look in your eyes. Though your cousin loved my cousin Juliet, loved her with a passion much more truly yet, some poor playwright wrote their drama just for fun. It won't run.
This can't be love because I feel so well. No sobs, no sorrows, no
sighs. This can't be love, I get no dizzy spells. My head is not in the skies.
My heart does not stand still, just hear it beat.
This is too sweet to be love.
This can't be love because I feel so
well,
but still I love to look in your eyes. Love to look in your eyes.
Now here's what might well be the least known verse of the best known classic in the Great American Songbook, and by one of its least known songwriters, whose name we just mentioned, Herman Hupfeld. You know it from Bergman and Bogey's 1942 triumph Casablanca, but it was originally written for the Broadway show Everybody's Welcome, 1931.
This day and age we're living in gives cause for apprehension, with speed and new invention and things like third dimension. Yet we get a trifle weary with Mr. Einstein's theory, so we must get down to earth at times, relax, relieve the tension, no matter what the progress or what we may have learned. The simple things of life are such they cannot be reversed.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say, I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs are never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate. That no one can deny. It's still the same old story a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by.
There are both male and female verses.
Thank you. We're doing clumps, and you can applaud.
I'm sorry, Steve, I can't get these people not to applaud.
Oh, well,
we tried, we
There's
practiced.
enough frustration in the world. All right,
know.
I understand what you're saying.
There are both male and female verses to a George and Ira Gershwin song that jazz musicians call Salty Tears. Ira's memoir says the man's version came first, but the woman's is now more familiar. Sadly, the song was cut from the original 1927 version of Funny Face, starring siblings Fred and Adela Stair, but made it into the musical Rosalie a year later.
As a tot, I was trotted in little velvet panties. I was kissed by my cousins and my aunties. Sad to tell, it was hell, an inferno worse than Dante's. So, my dear, I swore, never, never more. On my list, I insisted that kissing must be crossed out. Now I find I was blind. Oh, baby, how I've lost out. I could cry salty tears. Where have I been all these years? Little while, tell me now, how long has this been going on? There were chills up my spine, and some thrills I can't define. Little sweet, I repeat, how long has this been going on? I feel that I could melt into heaven I'm hurled. I know how Columbus felt, finding another world. Kiss me once, then once more. What a dance I was before. What a break, for heaven's sake. How long has this been going on?
'Neath the stars at bazaars, often I've had to caress men. Don't be sad, I must add that they meant no more than chessmen. Darling, can't you see? 'Twas for charity. Though these lips have made slips, it was never really serious. Who'd have thought I'd be brought to a state that's so delirious? I could cry salty tears. Where have I been all these years? Listen, you, tell me, do, how long has this been going on? What a kick, how I buzz. Boy, you click as no one does. Listen, sweet, I repeat, how long has this been going on? Dear, when in your arms I creep, that divine rendezvous. Don't wake me if I'm asleep. Let me dream that it's true. Kiss me twice, then once more. That makes thrice. Let's make it 4. What a break, for heaven's sake. How long has this been going on?
How long has this been going on?
Verses can be shorter and simpler and still serve their purpose, like this by Burton Lane and Ralph Freed for Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland in the 1941 musical film Babes on Broadway.
When a girl meets boy, life can be a joy. but the note they end on will depend on little pleasures that they share. So let us compare. I like New York in June. How about you? I like a Gershwin tune. How about you? I love a fireside when a storm is due. I like potato chips, moonlight and motor trips. Hey, how about you? I'm mad about good books, can't get my fill. And Jimmy Durante's looks, well, that's what he wrote. Made me a thrill, holding hands in the movie show when all the lights are low. Maybe that's new, but I like it. How about you?
Here's another sweet shorty by Sammy Kahn and Julie Stein for the 1947 film It Happened in Brooklyn.
What good are words I say to you? They can't convey to you what's in my heart. If you could hear instead the things I've left unsaid, time after time I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept our love so young, so new. And time after time you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you.
A bit more poetic is this approach by playwright Maxwell Anderson and the German-American composer Kurt Weill.
I've been searching through rains and the winds that follow after for one certain face and an unforgotten laughter. I've been staring after ships for a certain pair of eyes and a certain pair of lips. You can sing everywhere, you can search without wings, and you find a lot of wonderful, interesting things. But it never was you. It never was anywhere you. An occasional sunset reminded me, or a flower hanging high in a tulip tree, or one red star hung low in the west, or the heartbreak call from a meadowlark's nest. Made me think for a moment, maybe it's true. I found you in the star, in the call, in the blue, but it never was you. It never was anywhere you. Anywhere, anywhere you.
I've been hunting through woods. I've been fishing over water for one certain girl who's a certain father's daughter. I've been following trails, I've been staring after ships for a certain pair of arms and a certain pair of lips. Yes, I looked everywhere. You can look without wings. And for when you're out in company, the boys and girls will pair. But it never was you. It never was anywhere you. An occasional sunset reminded me, or a flower hanging high on a tulip tree, or one red star hung low in the west, or a heartbreak call from a meadowlark's nest made me think for a moment, maybe it's true. I found her in the star, in the call, in the blue, but it never was you. It never was anywhere you. Anywhere you.
No, it never was you. It never was anywhere you. Anywhere you.
Here's another by the Gershwins, the only one ever used in two different Broadway shows. Treasure Girl, 1928, Strike Up the Band, 1930.
How glad the many millions of Lulubelles and Lillians would be to capture me. But you had such persistence, you wore down my resistance. I fell, and it was swell.
You're my big and brave and handsome Romeo. How I won you I shall never, never know.
It's not that you're attractive, but oh, my heart grew active when you came into view. I've got a crush on you, sweetie pie, all the day and night time. Hear me sigh. I never had the least notion that I could fall with so much emotion. Could you coo? Could you care? For a cunning cottage we could share. The world will pardon my mush, 'cause I've got a crush, my baby, on you.
How glad a million laddies, from millionaires to caddies, would be to capture me. But you had such persistence, you wore down my resistance. I fell, and it was swell. I've got a crush on you, sweetie pie, all the day and night time. Hear me sigh. This isn't just a flirtation. We're proving that there's predestination. I could coo, I could care. For a cunning cottage we could share. Your mush I never shall shush. 'Cause I've got a crush, my baby.
My crush, my baby, I crush my baby on you.
Next is the title tune by Johnny Mercer and Jerome Kern for the 1942 film that reunited Fred Astaire and Rita Hayworth, his favorite dancing partner, he once said.
I was never able to recite a fable that would make the party bright. Sitting at the table, I was never able to come to the host's delight. But you have given my after-dinner story. I'll describe to you just as you are in all your glory. You were never lovelier, you were never so fair. Dreams were never lovelier, pardon me if I stare Down the sky the moonbeams fly to light your face. I can only say they chose the proper place. You were never lovelier, and to coin a new phrase, I was never luckier in my palmiest days. Make a note and you can quote me, honor bright. You were never lovelier than you were tonight.
I got down on one knee to start this Rodgers and Hart tune at my sing-along wedding to Sylvia Clark in the late lamented Oak Room of Manhattan's Algonquin Hotel. I could actually do that then. Steve was part of the choir, and now at gunpoint he wants me to sing it.
I want to.
I won't kiss your hand, madame, crazy for you though I am. I'll never woo you on bended knee, no, madame, not me. We don't need that flowery fuss, no, sir, madame, not for us. My romance doesn't have to have a moon in the sky. My romance doesn't need a blue lagoon standing by. No month of May, no twinkling stars, no hideaway, no soft guitars. My romance doesn't need a castle rising in Spain or a dance to a constantly surprising refrain. Wide awake, I can make my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance doesn't need a thing but you.
And they're still together. That's the song power.
All right. You got it. Here's a tune of heartsick resignation from Irving Cahal and Sammy Fain for a 1938 show titled Right This Way, which went away after 15 performances. But the song survives.
As we eye the blue horizons bend, earth and sky will seem to meet an end. But it's merely an illusion, like your heart and mine. There is no sweet conclusion. I can see, no matter how near you'll be, you'll never belong to me. But I can dream, can't I? Can't I pretend that I'm locked in the bend of your embrace? For dreams are just like wine, and I am drunk with mine. I'm aware my heart is a sad affair. There's much disillusion there, but I can dream, can't I? Can't I adore you, although we are oceans apart? I can't make you open your heart, but I can dream, I can dream, I can dream, can't I?
Now, some good advice given and comically accepted from Jerome Kern and Buddy DeSilva for the 1919 musical flop, Zip Goes a Million. Seems so contemporary. Later sung by Marilyn Miller in the better received musical Sally, and it became the title tune of a 1949 Miller biopic.
Please don't be offended if I preach to you a while. Tears are out of place in eyes that were meant to smile. There's a way to make your very big troubles small. Here's the happy secret of it all. Look for for the silver lining. Whene'er a cloud appears in the blue, remember somewhere the sun is shining, and soon the right thing to do is make it shine for you. A heart full of joy and gladness will always banish sadness and strife. So always look for the silver lining, and you will find the sunny side of life.
As I wash my dishes, I'll be following your plan, till I see the brightness in every pot and pan. I am sure your point of view will ease the daily grind, so I'll keep repeating in my mind.
Look for the silver lining whene'er a cloud appears in the blue. Remember somewhere the sun is shining, and so the right thing to do is make it shine for you. A heart full of joy and gladness will always banish sadness and strife. So always look for the silver lining, and try to find the sunny side of life.
All right, hold the slings and arrows. Here's where I confess to preferring my Rodgers with Hart and my Hammerstein with Kern. But we do have one Rodgers and Hammerstein collaboration from the little-remembered 1953 show Me and Juliet, although the music was actually written a year earlier for the World War II TV documentary Victory at Sea.
How far away are you? How many lonely sighs, dear? How many weeping sighs, dear? How far away are you?
How long have I to go? How many moons to see, dear, till you come back to me, dear? When will I know? When will I know? No other love have I, only my love for you, only the dream we knew, no other love.
Watching the night go by, wishing that you could be, watching the night with me. Into the night I cry, hurry home, come home to me. Set me free, free from doubt and free from longing.
Into your arms I'll
Into
fly.
your arms I'll fly.
Locked in your arms I'll
Locked
stay.
in your arms I'll stay.
Waiting to hear you say.
Waiting to hear you say.
No other love have
No other love, no other love.
Sammy Kahn and Julie Stein wrote this next number during World War II to be ready for the end of it. Just one sliver of the great musical legacy left by that brutal conflict. Songs of love, longing, hope, and joy.
Never thought that you would be standing here so close to me. There's so much I feel that I could say, but words can wait until another day.
Here we go. Kiss
Everybody.
me once and kiss me twice
and
and
kiss me once again.
It's been
a
a
long,
long
time.
Haven't felt like this
My
before.
dear, since
Can't
can't remember when. It's been a
long,
long time. You'll never know how many dreams I dreamed about you, or just how empty they all seem without you. So kiss me once and kiss me twice,
Twice, then kiss me once again.
It's been a long, long time.
It's been a long, long time. You're doing very well.
Very good. We'll call you next week. Here's Hammerstein and Kern for the 1939 musical Very Warm for May, then for the 1944 film Broadway Rhythm, and the 1946 Kern biopic Till the Clouds Roll By.
Time and again I've longed for adventure, something to make my heart beat the faster. What did I long for I never really knew. Finding your love I found my adventure. Touching your hand my heart beats the softer. All that I want in all of this world is you. You are the promised kiss of springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. You are the breathless hush of evening, trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel that writes a song. The dearest things I know are what you are. And someday my happy arms will hold you. Someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are mine. You are the angel star that lights the sky. The dearest things I know are what you are. And someday my happy arms will hold you. And someday I'll know that moment divine when all the things you are mine.
Just one more before we take a little break. This is Kern and Mercer again, also for the film You Were Never Lovelier.
I am not such a clever one about the latest fads. I admit I was never one adored by local lads. Not that I ever tried to be a saint. I'm the type that they classify as quaint. I'm old-fashioned. I love the moonlight. I love the old-fashioned things. The sound of rain upon the window pane, the starry song that April sings. This year's fancies are passing fancies, but sighing sighs, holding hands, these my heart understands. I'm old-fashioned, but I don't mind it. That's how I want to be, as long as you agree to stay old-fashioned.
Stay old-fashioned, to stay old-fashioned with me. We'll be right back.
I don't think they're serving old fashions at the bar, but there are things to eat and drink. So see you in about 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes.
15-minute intermission, folks.
Have a ball. Sir. Muzz, 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 muzz. Welcome back. I once told a shrink if I could recall all the words in this next song, it must mean my brain was still in good shape. He said I'd still remember them all when I was putting my underwear in the freezer. Not quite yet. Over to you, Steve.
Oh. Oh, will you never set me free? Oh, will you never set me be? The chains that bound us are still around us. There's no escape that I can see. A cigarette that bears a lipstick's traces, airline ticket to romantic places. Still my heart has wings. These foolish things remind me of you. A tinkling piano in the next apartment, those stumbling words that told you what my heart meant. A fairground's painted swings, these foolish things remind me of you. You came, you saw, you conquered me. When you did that to me, I knew somehow this had to be. And still my heart has wings. These foolish things remind me of you. David?
That lyric was by Eric Maschwitz, whose less Jewish-sounding pseudonym was Holt Marvell, and whose first wife was Hermione Gingold. Here's another by him that my late girl singer mom performed on the radio in New York circa 1939. Now she's on SoundCloud with it.
When two lovers meet in Mayfair, so the legends tell, songbirds sing, winter turns to spring. Every winding street in Mayfair falls beneath the spell. I know such enchantment can be, 'cause it happened one evening to me. That certain night, the night we met, there was magic abroad in the air. There were angels dining at the Ritz, and a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I'm perfectly willing to swear that when you turned and smiled at me, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. The moon that lingered over London town, poor puzzled moon, he wore a frown. How could he know we two were so in love? The whole darn world seemed upside down. The streets of town were paved with stars. It was such a romantic affair. Then as you turned and smiled at me, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. How sweet and strange, how sweet and strange. There was never a dream to compare with that hazy, crazy night we spent when a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. This heart of mine beat loud and fast. like a merry-go-round at a fair, and we were dancing cheek to cheek. Nightingales sang in Berkeley Square. The dawn came stealing up all gold and blue to ruin our rendezvous. I still remember how you turned and said, was this a dream or was it true? Our homeward steps were just as light as the tap-dancing feet of a stair. Then like an echo far away, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. I knew 'cause I was there that night in Berkeley Square.
Now, Rodgers and Hart delight in Déjà Vu for their 1937 show, Babes in Arms.
When you're awake, the things you think come from the dreams you dream. Thought has wings and lots of things are seldom what they seem. Sometimes you think you have lived before all that you live today. Things you do come back to you as though they knew the way. All the tricks your mind can play. It seems we've stood and talked like this before. We've looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you are smiling, you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where or when? Who knows where or when?
And again, the Gershwins for a 1933 flop. They did have some. Pardon My English.
I've been waiting all night to sing this to you, Karen. Why did I wander here and there and yonder, wasting precious time for no reason or rhyme? Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a crime? My journey's ended. Everything is splendid. Meeting you today has given me a wonderful idea. Here I'll stay. It's a funny thing. I look at you, I get a thrill I never knew. Isn't it a pity we never met before? Here we are at last. Oh, it's like a dream. The two of us, a perfect team. And it's such a pity we never met before. Imagine all the lonely years I've wasted. You with the neighbors, I at silly labors. What joys untasted. You reading Heine, I somewhere in China. Happiest of men, I'm sure to be, if you would only say to me, it's an awful pity we never met before.
While you were flitting, I was busy knitting, hoping I'd survive, hoping you'd arrive. All my Dresden boyfriends were only half alive. Sleepy was Herman, Fritz was like a sermon, ones was such a bore. How well you planned it, I just couldn't stand it anymore. It's a funny thing, I look at you, I get a thrill I never knew. Isn't it a pity we never met before? Here we are at last, it's like a dream, the two of us, a perfect team. Isn't it a pity we never met before? Imagine all the lonely years you've wasted fishing for salmon, losing at backgammon. What joys untasted! My nights were sour, spent with Schopenhauer. Let's forget the past. Let's both agree that I'm for you and you're for me.
And it's such a pity we never met before. And it's such a pity we never met before.
Okay, this is Kern and Sir Pelham Grenville Wodehouse, PG for short, the British humorist, for their 1917 show, Oh Boy.
There's a he and she, I'll be both, in these fluid times, why not? We were children once long ago, dear you and I. At the start our lives lay apart as lives will lie. Up I grew and I never knew that the world contained a darling like you. Nor did you dream you would see little me too by and by. I never knew about you, dear, and you never knew about me. Life might have been heaven if I then, aged 7, had met you when you were 3. We'd have made mud pies like affinities. We'd have known what rapture could be. I'd have let you feed my rabbit till the thing became a habit, dear. But I never knew about you.
Ah, what might have been.
You never knew about me. She. How I wished I'd known long ago that you'd arrive. Just to feel I have an ideal for which to strive. Had I known I'd meet you my own, I would not have lived for pleasure alone. I was frivolous and gay, sad to say, and I was I never knew about you, dear, and you never knew about me. I might have missed chances, juvenile dances, for life was one long bad spree. I was kissed neath the mistletoe by small boys excited by tea. If I'd known that you existed, I'd have catched them and resisted, dear. But I never knew about you.
Ah, the pain of it.
And you never knew about me.
Sam M. Lewis and J. Fred Coots wrote 2 timeless openings for this 1934 hit.
Sweetheart, the night is growing old. Sweetheart, my love is still untold. A kiss that is never tasted forever and ever is wasted.
Why should we waste it?
Why
all we know,
we may never meet again. Before you go, make this moment sweet again. We won't say goodnight until was made for some. Tomorrow may never come, for all we know.
Well, love me tonight, tomorrow may never come. Tomorrow may never come, for all we know.
I once won a bar bet, actually it was in my backyard, with the late jazz and cabaret diva Susanna McCorkle when she refused to believe which standard was written to start like this. I had to bring out the book of Larry Hart lyrics.
We decided to spend the spring together before we learned to walk. We used to laugh and sing together before we learned how to talk. With no reason for the season, spring would end as it starts. Now the season has a reason, and it's springtime in my heart. The most beautiful girl in the world picks my ties out, eats my candy, drinks my brandy. The most beautiful girl in the world, the most beautiful star in the world, isn't Garbo, isn't Dietrich, but the sweet trick who can make me believe it's a beautiful world. Social, not a bit, natural kind of wit. She'd shine anywhere, and she hasn't got platinum hair. The most beautiful house in the world has a mortgage. What do I care? It's goodbye care. When my slippers are next to the ones that belong to the one and only beautiful girl in the world. Social, not a bit, natural kind of wit. She'd shine anywhere, and she hasn't got platinum hair. The most beautiful house in the world has a mortgage. What do I care? It's goodbye care. When my slippers are next to the ones that belong to the one and only beautiful girl. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with the most beautiful girl in the world.
Now a wistful memory and melody by Irving Berlin.
Everything went wrong, and the whole day long I'd feel so blue. For the longest while I'd forget to smile. Then I met you. Now that my blue days are past, now that I found you at last, I'll be loving you
Always, come on,
with a love that's true. Always, when the things you planned need a helping hand, I will understand. Always,
always.
days may not be fair. Always, that's when I'll be there. Always, not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. may not be fair always, that's when I'll be there always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Well done.
Here's a clearly conflicted Cole Porter for 1932's The Gay Divorce, Fred Astaire's first Broadway show without his sister Adele. Claire Luce was his co-star, replaced by Ginger Rogers in the 1934 film version, The Gay Divorcee. Sadly, the song was dropped.
I'll do the refrain first and then the verse.
Though with what?
I was going to do the refrain and then into the verse.
Sure.
After you could supply my sky of blue, after you could I love, after you, why should I take the time to try? For who else could qualify after you? Hold my hand and swear you'll never cease to care. For without you there, what could I do? I could search years, for who else could change my tears into laughter after you? Here's the verse. Though with joy I should be reeling that at last you came my way, there's no further use concealing that I'm feeling far from gay. For the rare allure about you makes me all the plainer see how inane, how vain, how empty life without you would be. Hold my hand and swear you'll never cease to care, for without you there, what could I be? I could search years, but who else could change my tears into laughter after you?
And this from the seemingly ever frustrated Larry Hart for the 1940 musical Higher and Higher. It too did not make the 1944 film version.
I don't care if there's powder on my nose. I don't care if my hairdo is in place. I've lost the very meaning of repose. I never put a mud pack on my face. Oh, who'd have thought that I'd walk in a daze now? I never go to shows at night, but just to matinees now. I see the show and I go home. Once I laughed when I heard you say that I'd be playing solitaire, uneasy in my easy chair. You never entered my mind. Once you told me I was mistaken, that I'd awaken with the sun and order orange juice for one. It never entered my mind. You have what I lack myself, and now I even have to scratch my back myself. Once you warned me that if you scorned me, I'd sing the Maiden's Prayer again and wish that you were there again to get into my hair again. It never entered my mind.
Steve Sondheim was generally verse-averse in his later years, but at first he followed tradition, as in this from 1959's Gypsy, with music by Julie Stein.
Once my clothes were shabby, tailors called me cabby. I took a wow, said this bumblebee, bro Brummel. Now I'm smooth and snappy, sailors call me happy. I am the cat's meow, my wardrobe is a wow. Paris suit, Harris tweed, there's only one thing I need. Got my best, oh, I got my best, got my best, all I need now is a girl. Got my striped tie, got my hopes, I got the time and the place, and I got rhythm. All I need's the girl to go with her. If she'll just appear, we'll take this whole world for our world. And I'll give up my striped tie and sorry, let me do this again. Up here, and I'll say, my darling, I'm yours. I'll give away my striped tie and my best dressed tweed. All I really need is the girl.
This Gershwin standard was premiered by Ginger Rogers in the 1930 Broadway show Girl Crazy and heard again in the Tony-winning 1992 version, Crazy for You.
Old man sunshine, listen you. Never tell me dreams come true. Just try it, and I'll start a riot. Beatrice Fairfax, don't you dare ever tell me things will care. I'm certain it's the final curtain. I never want to hear from any cheerful Pollyannas who tell you fate supplies a mate. It's all bananas. They're writing songs of love, but not for me. A lucky star's above, but not for me. With love to lead the way, I found more clouds of gray than any Russian play could guarantee. I was a fool to fall and get that way. Hi-ho, alas, and also lack-a-day. Although I can't dismiss the memory of his kiss, I guess he's not for me. He's knocking on a door, but not for me. He'll plan a 2x4, but not for me. I know that love's a game. I'm puzzled just the same. Was I the moth or flame? I'm all at sea. It all began so well, but what an end. This is the time a lady needs a friend. When every happy plot ends with a marriage knot, and there's no knot for me, I guess he's not for me.
Well, I admit it again, I love Gershwin. Here's a classic from 1927's Funny Face.
Don't mind telling you, in my humble fash, that you thrill me through with a tender pass. When you said you care, my dread, my emotion, I swore then and there permanent devotion. You make all other girls seem blah. Just you alone fill me with, oh, it's wonderful, marvelous. You should care for me. It's awful nice, paradise. but I long to see. You made my life so glamorous. You can't blame me for feeling amorous. Oh, it's wonderful, marvelous that you should care for me.
Life has just begun. Jack has found his Jill. Don't know what you've done, but I'm all athrill. How can words express your divine appeal? You can never guess all the love I feel. From now on, I tell you, I insist. For me, no other guy exists. Oh, it's wonderful, it's marvelous. You should care for me. Softful nights, it's paradise. What I love to see. You've made my life so glamorous. You can't blame me for feeling amorous. Oh, it's wonderful, it's marvelous that you should care.
That you should care for me. That you should care for me.
Now, something deliciously devilish from Irving Berlin for the Music Box Review 1922.
Oh, I got a message from below, just from a man I used to know. About a year ago before he departed, he's just as happy as can be. I'll tell you what he said to me. He said, ever you get heavy-hearted,
Pack up your sins and go to the devil in Hades. You'll meet the finest of gentlemen and the finest of ladies. They'd rather be down below than up above. Hades is full of thousands of Joneses and Browns, O'Hoolahans, Cohens and Bradys. You'll hear a heavenly tune that went to the devil because the jazz bands, they started picking it, they put a trick in it, a jazzy kick in it. They've got a couple of old reformers in heaven, making them go to bed at 11. Pack up your sins and go to the devil, and you'll never have to go to bed at all.
If you go to 12 where the weather is hot, H-double-L is a wonderful spot. If you need a rest and you're all out of sorts, Hades is the best of the winter resorts. Paradise, cousin compare, all the nice people are there. They are there from everywhere just to revel with Mr. Devil. Nothing on his mind but a couple of horns, making with his jazz band and his band. Came from Alpern with the melody hot. No one gives a damn if it's music or not. Satan's melody makes you want to guess forever, and you'll never have to go to bed at all.
Pack up your sins and go to the devil in Hades.
Is a double
You'll
spot.
meet the
If you
finest
need a
of
rest and you're all
gentlemen
out
and
of
the
sorts,
finest of
Hades
ladies.
is the best of the rest of
They'd
the
rather be down below than up
doesn't
above.
compare.
Hades
All
is
the
full
nice
of thousands
people are
of
there. They
Joneses
come
and
there
Browns,
for everywhere
O'Hoolahans,
just
Cohens
to
and
revel
Bradys.
with Mr.
You'll
Devil.
hear a
Nothing on
heavenly
his
tune
mind
that
but a
went
couple
to
of
the devil
horns.
because
Satan is waiting
the
with his
jazz bands, they started
band
picking it, then put a trick in it, a jazzy kick in it.
his band.
They've got a
Came from
couple of
Alabama
old
with the
reformers
melody
in
on
heaven,
no one
making
gives a
them
damn
go to
if it's
bed
music
at
or not.
11. Pack
Satan's
up your
melody
sins
makes
and
you
go
want
to the devil, and you'll never have to go to bed.
You'll never have to go to bed. You'll never have to go to bed at all.
Our next great verse by Kern and Dorothy Fields is not part of the song as heard in the 1936 film Swing Time. In fact, it was never formally published and appears only in an album by Michael Feinstein, who discovered it in an unreleased Fred Astaire recording.
I don't need a room, a nook, a time for violins. Here with you I need a book and tons of aspirins. So gaily you must remember me. I'm the stranger on whose knee you sat. This great love you gave to me, I've got it up to here, and that is that. A fine romance, my friend. This is a fine romance. With no kisses, should be like a couple of hot tomatoes. But you're as cold as yesterday's mashed potatoes. A fine romance you won't wrestle. A fine romance you won't nestle. I might as well play bridge with my old maid aunts. I haven't got a chance. This is a fine romance.
A fine romance, my good fellow, you take. Romance I'll take. Jello, you're calmer than the seals in the Arctic Ocean. At least they flap their fins to express emotion. A fine romance with no quarrels, with no insults and all morals. I've never mussed the crease in your blue serge pants. I never get the chance. This is a fine romance. I never bridge with my old maid aunts. I never got the chance. This is a fine romance.
Born in St. Petersburg in 1833, composer and chemist Alexander Borodin was long dead when Robert Wright and George Forrest put words to his music for the Broadway show Kismet, which won Borodin in a posthumous Tony in 1954.
Oh, why do the leaves of the mulberry tree whisper differently now? And why is the nightingale singing at noon on the mulberry bough? For some most mysterious reason, this isn't the garden I know. No, it's paradise now. That was only a garden a moment ago. Take my hand, I'm a stranger in paradise, all lost in a wonderland, a stranger in paradise. If I stand starry-eyed, I'm a stranger in paradise, or mortals who stand beside an angel like you. I saw your face, and I ascended out of the commonplace into the rare. Somewhere in space I hang suspended until I know there's a chance that you care. Won't you answer the fervent prayer of a stranger in paradise? Don't send me in dark despair from all that I hunger for, but open your angel's arms to this stranger in paradise and tell her that she need be a stranger no more. I saw your face and I ascended out of the commonplace into the rare. somewhere in space, I hang suspended until I know there's a chance that you care. Won't you answer the fervent prayer of a stranger in paradise? Don't send me in dark despair from all that I hunger for, but open your angel's arms to this stranger in paradise and tell her that she need be a stranger no more.
Okay, here is the original version of a Rodgers and Hart classic sung by Maurice Chevalier as a Paris tailor in the 1932 film Love Me Tonight, but now so politically incorrect.
My face is glowing, I'm energetic. The art of sewing I found poetic. My needle punctuates the rhythm of romance. I don't give a stitch if I don't get rich. A custom tailor who has no custom is like a sailor, no one will trust him. But there is magic in the music of my shears. I shed no tears, lend me your ears. Isn't it romantic? I found a girl that I adore. Isn't it romantic? While I sit around, my love can mop the floor. So kiss me every hour, or she'll get the sack. And when I take a shower, she can scrub my back. Isn't it romantic? On a moonlit night, she will cook some soup. Kiddies are romantic, and if we don't fight, we soon will have a troop. We'll help the population. It's a duty that we owe to dear old France. Isn't it romance?
Now the published version, perhaps the sweetest verse of all, and a chorus most all of us know and love.
I never met you.
I've never met you, yet never doubt, dear, I can't forget you. I've thought you out, dear. I know your profile and I know the way you kiss. Just the thing I miss on a night like this. If dreams are made of imagination, I'm not afraid of my own creation. With all my heart is here for you to take. Why should I quake? I'm not awake. Isn't it romantic? Music in the night, a dream that can be heard. Isn't it romantic? Moving shadows write the oldest magic word. I hear the breezes playing in the trees above, while all the world is saying you were meant for love. Isn't it romantic? Merely to be young on such a night as this. Isn't it romantic? Every note that's sung is like a lover's kiss.
Sweet symbols in the moonlight, do you mind that I have fallen in love perchance? Isn't this romance? Isn't this romance?
And that, my dears, is that, to quote Dorothy Fields from earlier in this show. We'd like to end with heartfelt thanks to Josh Gladstone and Donna Rubin, to LTV and all its pros on lights and sound and all the other critical operations. Very special thanks to you all for coming here tonight to share the spirit of songs we love Support cabaret here, everywhere. Keep our American Songbook great.
And I would like, representing the entertainment part, the second two-thirds, to thank very much Mr. Gladstone for having us out here. It's been a while since I've played in East Hampton. I have happy memories of the John Drew Theater and the Guildhall Theater and other wonderful places. But the audience has always been very responsive, and so I want to thank you. And I wanted to comment, as I've been examining these songs with Karen, and we are kind of having a musical love affair. There's so many beautiful songs about romance that even if I weren't romantic, I would feel romantic at the end of it. So thank you for that very much.
But wait, as the late singer Nancy Lamott used to say, in cabaret, there's always an encore.
Okay. This one, I hope you know.
Here's the last tune composed by George Gershwin before he died without writing down music for the verse. Fortunately, brother Ira and pianist Oscar Levant heard enough of what George had in mind to hum it for reconstruction by composer Vernon Duke, who also wrote classical music under his Russian name, Vladimir Dukelsky. Ira could then write the words with his late brother surely in mind, and please join us.
The more I read the papers, the less I understand the world and all its capers and how it all will end.
Nothing seems to be lasting, but that isn't our affair. We've got something permanent, I mean in the way we care.
It's very clear our love is here to stay.
Not
For a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. Three times. Our love is here. Our love is here. Our love is here to stay. As are these great songs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all again so much. We're delighted you enjoyed a good night and a fabulous 4th.